Ronnie, look at that one with the jugs. There's one in the orange skirt. Make your pee-pee harder than a 10-pound bag of nickel jawbreakers, won't it?
Welcome to round 9 of Eat the Buckle, the horror movie battle royale podcast that puts two movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where the loser will remain in the ring another week, and we will be forced to watch it repeatedly until we have one movie standing in an effort to determine the worst horror movie ever made. This week's matchup is 1988's Cheerleader Camp versus 1987's The Gate. I'm Jared, and with me as always are my satanic metal bros, Aaron and Josh. Fellas, before we get any farther, I got a little business I got to get to. Once again, I received a very strange email from a listener, I guess. The subject said play after intro, and the body of it was just really weird symbols, and I couldn't really decipher it. I don't know what was going on with it, but it did have a little sound clip attached. So I haven't listened to this yet. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to go ahead and play it for us so we can hear it. And let's see if we can all hear this.
I'm intrigued.
There he is. The almost birthday boy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Aaron. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that was weird.
That was bizarre. Yeah.
I don't know who that's from, or I mean, they somehow knew that we have an almost birthday boy.
Oh man. Oh man. We gotta get to the bottom of that.
All right, AJ.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
Little
That's
weird.
what you heard when you called the actual number for Long Legs, right?
Oh, that probably was Long Legs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Long Legs.
Yeah, shit.
Who did that? Did you not do that?
I'm just playing. Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, jeez. And we weren't going to use last names too.
You could beep that part out.
I was really hoping you just say happy birthday, best friend Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll make a new one. I'll send it to him, and you can throw it in.
Actually, it would have been awesome to hear the "Hello, my future girlfriend."
Oh,
This is
Lord.
what isn't that a birthday wish?
That is a birthday wish.
All right. Well, we're already off the rails on a stellar episode of Eat the Buckle.
Oh.
One of these days, we'll be so famous with this podcast that last names are inevitable.
Oh,
So is it round 9 already?
yeah.
Round 9. We're
Seems
2
like-
months.
Just yesterday, I was sitting down at the laptop, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to discuss 2 movies and put them head-to-head to see which one was the worst.
Ready to face the world and take on all comers.
And now we are here in round 9, having to talk about Cheerleader Camp for the 3rd time.
Yeah. It does not feel like we've watched it 3 weeks already, but they've really flown by.
Sure have. We're just husks of humans at this point, but we venture on.
We do it for you. We do it for you, listeners.
Yes, that's true.
Well, I also have something to start off inauspiciously. I'd like talking about 2 months ago, we were just fresh-eyed and bushy-tailed, and now we're saddled with bits and gimmicks. I'd like to open up the Sandy Duncan dose and apologize for my pronunciation of clitoris. We said it because in week 1,
did we talk about her clit?
No. In week 1 of Cheerleader Camp, I was talking about Pop.
Yeah.
And I said clitoris.
Uh-huh.
And so the mnemonic worked a little bit better for Boris Clitoris. than saying Boris Clitoris.
Uh-huh. Because that was the name of his character, was Boris Clitoris.
On another show, yeah. And so I got called out by my wife, and I said, look, tomato, I know where it's at. That's all anyone ever is worried about.
Tomato tomortis.
Yeah.
Tomortis.
So we're sorry, Sandy Duncan, that Aaron mispronounced clitoris.
Clitoris. So,
how is that parallel, or how's that line up with Sandy Duncan?
Sandy Duncan Does, as you'll recall, is when we fuck up, we have to go back to the Sandy Duncan Does, like Homer Simpson. It's a very thin premise.
Oh, no, I love it. Give me more bits.
It's not as good as Satanic Panic, but like Duncan Does.
Sandy Dunky Doos.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay, so
had a little bit of alliteration going for it. So
yeah. So this is more of a human biography apology for mispronouncing.
Yeah, I think Sandy Duncan, and her breadth of work that she's had as a professional, is someone that we can rely on to say, hey, I'm only human. And when I make a mistake in this podcast, we'll go to the Sandy Duncan Does.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And that goes for all of us.
It's
a party of three.
And also, she's a strong, powerful female figure.
Yes.
Who has two working eyes.
Has two working eyes and is definitely still alive.
I got real intrigued / scared when I heard Sandy Duncan, and then two seconds later the word clitoris. I was like, what the fuck did we say? My Swiss cheese brain that I cannot remember. But boy, am I relieved now that is.
I meant to bring that up last week, and time got away from us. And so
now we're 3 weeks removed from the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure if you ever are like doing a marathon, be like, God, that guy mispronounced clitoris. I can't believe, what an asshole.
Though. Sorry, go ahead.
And so if you're listening, if you haven't listened to that episode, first of all, you've messed up. You need to go back and listen week by week.
It's very important you listen to these in order.
But second of all, just thank you for allowing us to be human beings and own our mistakes.
I would assume on whatever production features a character named Boris Clitoris that it probably is pronounced Boris Clitoris. There's only one way to find out.
Well, yeah, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Clitoris,
not clitoris.
So just all the ladies just dry as a desert right now listening to us say clitoris over and over.
All three of them, yes. Because it was pointed out to me from the Seinfeld episode that the woman's name was Dolores, rhymes with clitoris.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work if you said clitoris.
Correct.
And I said, well, maybe that was why I was confused as a child.
So what are we apologizing for?
The mispronunciation of Boris Clitoris.
But you said it right.
Now I am, yes.
Wait, which one's right?
The one that sounds like it rhymes. Boris Clitoris.
And you said Boris Clitoris?
No, I said Boris Clitoris, and no one caught it when I said it.
Oh.
And my wife was like, how did no one call you out on that? And I was like, because no one cares, first of all.
I don't even know what it is. So that's why I didn't call you out on it.
Okay.
The body part or the character? Both.
Well, thanks for listening to Round 9 to Eat the Buckle.
Happy birthday. That's it for this week.
A birthday bash.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
Long legs and clitoris. Yeah, let's get into it. Excuse me, clitoris.
Clitoris.
Oh, now it's stuck.
Don't make that mistake a fifth time. Okay, we've got this newcomer for this week is The Gate. Theatrical release was May 15th, 1987. It had a budget of $6 million. Before I say whether or not it ate the buckle or not. The movie that was in theaters at the same time as this. Do you know Ishtar? Are you guys familiar with Ishtar?
I remember the video box, but that's about it.
I've never seen it, but yeah.
Yeah, apparently the lore behind Ishtar is that it was considered like the first, I think is the first movie to be called like a box office flop, because the budget was so overinflated and it made nothing at the box office. But knowing that, with a $6 million budget, did The Gate eat the buckle at the box office?
No,
because they greenlit a sequel real quick.
They sure did. It made 13.5 million, so it more than just over doubled it. This movie is directed by Tibor Takas, written by Michael Nankin, starring Stephen Dorff, Krista Denton, Louis Tripp, Kelly Rowan, and Jennifer Irwin. It's a story of, well, pretty much
nothing.
Stranger Things ripped it off. I think Stranger Things is just like, let's make The Gate. Storm blows in and knocks a tree over, and in the ensuing debris cleanup, they uncover a hole in the ground that, through subsequent actions, demons are released from this hole and wreak havoc on a house full of children in the 80s, and all craziness ensues. What did you guys think of The Gate, the newcomer to the ring this week?
Go ahead, my friend, my birthday boy.
Oh, thank you. I did actually make a note for my little zinger on this one, and said that if T.I. West ever directed an episode of Goosebumps, it would have been this shit ass movie.
Man, you just hate Ti West.
He really does like Ti West.
Well, let's go ahead and get that Sandy Duncan dose out of the way too. It's Ti West, not T.I. I always say T.I. My apologies.
We apologize, Sandy.
But no, it was all right. I know it was for kids, like basically a gateway drug to get kids into Canon Films or whoever made this. It wasn't Canon. It was shittier than Canon. But like, what was it? Invaders from Mars from a year before was way better, this type of movie by our good dear friend Toby Hooper, than this shit ass nothing of a movie. Like, again, I set the time to where it was 43 minutes, and I'm like, in 43 minutes into this horror movie, in quotation marks, heavy quotation marks, and nothing has happened.
Wait, like, 43 minutes in, there's been a dead dog.
There is a dead dog, which I do wonder if that was Einstein from Back to the Future.
I had the same note. I said, is this Einstein or the dog from The Burbs?
I think that's Einstein
or both. Or the dog from Gremlins.
But man, I hated this movie.
Okay.
I honestly thought, let me get his name right, Louis Tripp. I thought Louis Tripp was going to magically somehow be Andy Daly from Review and Comedy Bang Bang and Conan, and I was just like, that's not him. I know it's not him, but if they ever needed someone to be his dad, Terry's dad, it could have been easily Andy Daly, because the character assassination that was set up for his dad was ripe for an Andy Daly character.
Yeah, he did. Deadbeat dad. Poor kid. He had a tough life.
He really did.
All he had was a satanic rock.
I'll have you know, I searched high and low to find out the dog actor. He is not in the credits. He's not on IMDb. He's not on Wikipedia. There's no like fan pages anywhere on the internet to who this dog is. There's a credit for the person that puppeteers the dead dog.
Yeah, the one actual... that I think the person that made the puppet.
Yeah,
because it was like Rufus.
Yeah,
Double or something like that, or Rufus Puppet.
Angus, yeah, Angus was the character's dog, but like this poor dog actor deserves justice. I will not rest until I find out because he was awesome.
The dog probably asked to have his name taken out of the credits because that's how bad this awful movie was.
Wow. Okay, get into it, Big Z. Let's
Man,
hear your thoughts.
I mean, there, like Aaron said, it was just it's nothing. It was, the cold open is an extended spooky dream, which I actually made a note to ask. By this point in horror movies, horror used very liberally to describe this movie. Do you think the audience can smell a scary dream sequence coming to open up a film by this point, because it's been done in so many 80s movies?
Well, if it was, Cheerleader Camp didn't get the note because it's a year later and it opens with the dream sequence.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, how? Because I mean, they still use the opening dream sequence in horror movies to this day, but it's done better now. It's definitely done better now. Like in this, he's like, when he goes walking downstairs and it's filled with so much smoke, it looks like John Carpenter's parlor room. I'm like, okay, it's a dream sequence. Like whatever happens here is just complete bullshit. You don't need to worry about, because he's going to wake up from a dream eventually.
Well, I had this as a point to talk about for Cheerleader Camp, but since it's apropos for this conversation, I think like this was happening because this was in the midst of Krueger mania. Like, I think this came out the same year as Nightmare 3. So, these dream sequences were, I bet the studio is probably,
sure,
we got to get some dream sequences in there.
That's definitely, I'm sure, a note producers were making. You got to open the film with a dream sequence. So everybody. But I guess my question is just like, how long do you think, like at what point where the audience is just over dream sequences that open up horror movies?
Never.
Oh my God, they just love it.
And who's getting fooled by them?
Right.
It's like, oh god, it was just dream sequence.
Does it sound like Pee-wee's Big Adventure music? And things are a little askew. It might be a dream sequence.
Is there flashing neon pink and green?
I would have loved nothing more than young Brad Dourif, to just been crushed by a treehouse in the first 2 minutes of the movie, and then we get a quick out. But
wait, Steven.
Sorry, not Brad Dourif.
Gotta have a Duncan do on that one.
Duncan do on that.
Was this filmed in Canada?
Yes.
I couldn't tell
yes.
You. It has to be, because as soon as I saw that house, I was like, "This is Canadian."
Yeah, it was. I did read that on Wikipedia. It was a Canadian production, and the house was in Canada, and you can tell by the soft features of the actors that they're Canadian. Is Stephen Dorff Canadian?
No, I do know he's from Georgia. Actually,
I'm not contributing to a future Duncan do on this one.
let me look real quick. Listen, I want to say it's Georgia.
I'm teasing. We love our neighbors in the north. You guys just didn't make very good movies. You might. I don't know if you make good movies to this day, but
they had. I mean,
Atlanta, Georgia.
Let's give credit. They got Black Christmas. They got.
No, you're right. You're
right. Why can't I think of My Bloody Valentine? They did some good stuff.
They did some good stuff.
Maybe stick to the slasher genre.
Yeah.
What do them Canucks know about satanic metal?
I also
have Rush.
I don't want to. We'll trash this movie. I know we will. At least me and Aaron will. But I wanted to get this note out of the way. So the director's name was Tibor Takis.
Yes.
He also directed The Gate 2, a couple of movies about giant spiders, and a movie called I, Madman.
Oh yeah, I did see I, Madman.
So is he part of the Madman multiverse?
He's part of the Madman-verse.
I didn't want to click.
I saw that and I misread it at first. I was like, what?
I thought I clicked on it because I was hoping that there was like a sequel to Madman that we didn't know about. It's not.
No.
Here's a hint. It's not.
It's the biopic of Madman.
Madman. I guess to sum up my thoughts on this movie is it's like it has having its own identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be an ABC Family spooky story for kids
Yeah.
or a violent movie about demons, because you go from like Steven Dorff giving these lame one-liners and like making these goofy expressions to him stabbing his best friend in the eye as he's biting his hand. Like it's just the tone's all over the place and not in a way that works. Which is I don't know. It's just made it a really frustrating viewing experience. And the other thing about it, it just kind of slipped my mind. So maybe I'll come back to it.
I I didn't mind the pacing of it in the beginning. I thought it was kind of cool how like the different steps of how to go about summoning the demons kind of fell into place
where they have to read liner notes of a metal album.
No, but that's like the things happened up to that point, and as they were reading that, they're like, "Oh, this is why that like when he cut." So they're uh covering up the hole, and he cuts his finger, and blood drips in, and then I forget what the second thing was, but the third thing was they have to a human or a live sacrifice, and they throw the dog in. There's just different things that um were eventualities that happened that then they realized like, oh, this is why we summoned them. And then that's like what the first part of the movie is leading up to that. And then I thought it was actually really cool when literally hell broke loose, and the little tiny knee-high demons came out. And like once the horror started happening, I thought it was really cool. Like the when their parents come to the door and their faces melt. That was a really cool effect. I enjoyed the practical effects of it all. When he gets the eyeball in his hand and has to cut it out with the glass shard.
That was terrible.
I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. The workman in the wall was scary.
Why was Ted Danson a zombie?
He was the workman in the wall. There was one line that you were supposed to remember where Steven Dorff's dad says something, or it comes up that
the kid Terry, the kid with the emotional problems. when Steven Dorff's in bed and he's like, I'm scared, and the dad's like, don't worry, blah blah blah, and he's like, no, it's because Terry told me that when they built this house, one of the workmen died, and they covered him up in the walls. And there's like, that was just a story, but then he ends up coming out of the walls at the end.
And then Terry also says, but I made him up.
Yeah, so these demons just knew how to get into your fears, man.
So tell me why these demons,
much like a Freddy Krueger.
But again, I guess like that was my problem, Jared, is like, even when all hell broke loose, for everything they could have done right at that point, there's like 5 things they do wrong. Like the demons that are the size of Smurfs, every time it shows them, they're just like banging their head off walls and running around in circles, and like these are the gods that are like older than Christianity. They're supposed to devour the world.
No, they were just the little minions that were created.
All right, listen. They called them demons.
Yeah.
A demon to me, having just watched Demon Knight, means you just can't stomp on one like it's a rat.
Yeah.
And stop it to basically stomp it to death. Like, you talk about all these rules, but then it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter. You can kill an elder god with an Estes model rocket.
God. Can we talk about that big demon too? That didn't even look good in 1987. Like that was a terrible special.
That was bad. I didn't think I thought the smaller ones were cool looking for what they were. Like,
well, yeah, they were it's forced perspective people in GIMP suits.
It was actually a combination of both.
Yeah, there was definitely
the big thing was definitely stop animation like Harryhausen, but the little guys were basically just like, oh, let's just shave an Ewok suit and throw you out there.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that.
I actually thought their faces were modeled after Stephen Dorff's face. They shared some similarities.
Stephen Dorff looked like if you would cross John Kruk with Mary Lou Retton in this movie. And I had to look up because I didn't want to say anything and then have another episode with a Sandy Duncan doe at the beginning of it, apologizing about Stephen Dorff's health issues. But that kid at 12 and a half, 13 and a half sounded like he'd started smoking cigarettes at 6.
It's because he has no neck. His head just lived in between his shoulders.
It was like he popped out of his mother's womb and they just gave him a lucky strike growing up.
Getting to the Stephen Dorff of it all. Do you guys? I mean, he's a name. Like, I know Stephen Dorff is an actor. The only other thing I know he's ever been in, other than this movie from 40 years ago, was Judgment Night.
Yeah, he's also in Blade.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Duncan Frost, right?
Yeah,
Duncan Doe Frost.
He apparently he was real upset that the producers for Blade would not make a Duncan Frost spinoff.
He died.
He wanted a whole movie about himself.
But like, I just can't. I don't think I've ever seen him in any, and even having seen Judgment Night a lot, I think the first couple times I saw it, I thought he was Christian Slater.
He's also in the blue e-cig commercials.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that.
So he's doing well.
Yeah.
Oh, he's living down on Venice Beach. I did see that. He's like, hey, the money's good.
I thought there were good scares to be had. Like I said, there was the one scene where his sister is looking in the mirror.
I was uncomfortable with this.
Checking herself out.
I was uncomfortable with this.
But like when you see the workman in the mirror behind her, I thought that was a really creepy, genuinely creepy shot.
If you're Hulk Hogan and you see the Ultimate Warrior, yes, because it was the same the same look, which they ripped off years later on WCW.
Oh man!
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the first scene where she goes in the mirror and like she goes like in profile and starts like trying to look for a shape. Because I was like, I don't feel comfortable watching this. And then come to find out it is a 15-year-old playing a 15-year-old. Because normally it's like, hey, I'm 27 playing a 16 or 15-year-old. Yeah. And I was like, don't really like that.
I don't know. I thought that was one of the only bright spots of the movie was that they actually hired kid actors to play kids instead of like 30-year-olds trying to play teenagers.
I mean, the verdict is still out on her friends.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Like the one that had there's something about Mary hair.
Yeah, the rooster hair.
The one who when Al tells her that their dog died, she rolls her eyes and like makes a disgusted face.
I wrote a note that if any of you, even you, my brother, if I was ever like, oh, Shimi died yesterday, and that was your reaction, you would be dead to me.
Yes. Not just dead to you. I would expect you just to put a knife in my face.
Those people were terrible.
Well, again, my previous complaint from episodes ago that there was just a point in the 80s where every character had to be nasty to each other.
Yeah.
And this was the worst of that.
I think. And you had the nasty Casio keyboard soundtrack. You had the nasty clothes, the nasty hairstyle, the nasty interior design. The 80s was just a very ugly period.
I did love where they show up to party at the end, and the dude comes in. I guess it was the dude that got rid of the dog, right?
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, her Al's would-be boyfriend.
Yeah,
and he's like, "We're here to party," and he has a 6-pack in his hand.
Yeah.
There's like 5 of them, and he has 6 beers.
Yeah.
It's like the Madman party where where Max is like, I know you've got that 6-pack in there. Save one for me. He's like, so all of you can have 5 beers?
Yeah. Right.
Between you?
And I guess the last thing I'll say about this movie, just, go back to like 40 minutes in and we get the dead dog and not much else. And then when the dead dog reappears in his bed, when all hell breaks loose, as you say, the first scary thing that happens is moths flying through the window.
Yeah.
Like that's their big jump scare.
I don't know
is
why
a bunch of moths.
I don't know why moths were like the harbinger of hell.
Well, what did the little space rock have to do with anything? They weren't aliens, they were demons. So what does that have to do with anything?
The geode?
The geode they said was like part of the ritual that needed to happen to summon them. I think that was
a natural formation is needed to summon miniature demons.
Yeah. I don't beginning
one giant slug.
This movie was just awful. And like Aaron said, the fact that what does it take to defeat an all-powerful elder god? A rocket ship.
Not even a rocket ship, a model rocket called Thunderbolt.
And is there a lamer hobby than model rocketing?
I was gonna say, I bet Aaron was into model rockets.
In my family, we took SD model rockets and made basically rocket launchers out of it.
Okay.
Where you would put them in the back end of PVC pipe, and you wire it up with like the controls basically at your head as you were holding it like a bazooka, and then you could just trigger that thing and shoot rockets at people.
So maybe that would take down an elder demon.
No, because it was balsa wood and plastic and cardboard.
They must just make them stronger up in Canada.
Yeah.
I clearly liked this better than the two of you. I did hate. So in the movie, his sister dies, Al. His friend Terry dies. Their dog dies. Which, as I'm watching it, I was like, "Oh, they're going for it, man. They're killing kids. That's fun." And then, the end, once the demon dies, of course,
they all come back.
You get
everything's
washed away.
When that dog died, I was like, none of this matters, and I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, that did piss me off a lot and took some of the enjoyment out of it. I will say,
and then the last line of the movie is they're all like giggling in the wrecked house on the porch of the wrecked house, and Steven Dorff goes, "You guys are my best friends." It's like that's how you end your horror movie.
Well,
it's Canada. They gotta end on a happy note.
Did you notice at the very end when Armageddon was happening, and they had that backdrop, basically having him in the foreground behind a screen showing all the special effects, that they propped up a Charlie Brown Christmas tree on the left-hand side of the screen?
No.
And I was like, is that supposed to be like his favorite friend tree? Like, I couldn't believe. I was like, oh, I guess that we need to make it look more realistic. So let's get the fakest tree possible that looks like the cheapest Christmas tree you could find and stand it 8 feet away from the kid. And then that was like, oh yeah, look, that's really happening.
Did not notice that. I will say this had, maybe since Sleepaway Camp's fuck a man asshole, one of my favorite insults, which was suck my nose till my head caves in.
Yeah. Every insult. It was like, yeah, everything was so stupid.
What the fuck does that? Why would that be an insult to them?
Yeah.
I do have some positives.
This was real gross.
Yeah, let's give some flowers,
because we always want to be equal-handed with this stuff. So
sure,
I have my positives in the form of PSAs.
That's fair.
Here's the public service announcements that the Gate provided its viewers. Number 1, never climb a tree during a lightning storm. Yep. It will open a gateway to hell. Number 2, don't read random words that a geode makes out loud.
Yeah, on the magnetic strip
paper. Yeah.
What were those called?
I couldn't remember.
It was killing me. Those like one.
It was. I just know it was Sesame Street.
Yeah,
but why was Big Bird asking me to read Ancient Sumerian? Number 3, don't store your bag of charcoal outside on the grill. Did anyone else notice that?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, that pissed me off so bad.
That little girl that just looked like a snare drum. It was
PSA number 4. Don't leave your shotgun in the closet where mixed up Terry can caress it. He really was like hugging the barrel of that gun to his head.
It was almost like it was a clitoris for him.
Yeah. Then number 5, don't point a loaded shotgun at your brother in an emergency situation or any situation.
Because you might have a madman situation.
Yeah, Al was really going for Betsy action because as soon as she's like, "Where's the shotgun?" she points it right at Steven Dorff's stomach for the entire time they're in that closet.
She may have been pointing it at his head, which was also his stomach.
Those are some great PSAs. I'm glad you shared them with us.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'm glad Tech and whoever wrote this, who probably went on to do something else in Hollywood that had nothing to do with writing.
Michael Nankin wrote it.
So the original screenplay actually had the demons getting out of the house and like attacking the neighborhood and then the city. And I thought that would have probably been a much better movie, showing them just like dragging people out in the streets and killing them. But obviously, due to budget restraints, they had to narrow it down to 3 kids in one house.
Yeah,
that's probably why the beginning was so elongated and stretched out, was because they had to, fill in the void of that being taken out of the script.
You mean the first 40 minutes?
Yeah. If you want
40-minute long beginning.
I think there could also be another PSA where pay attention to your surroundings at a construction site, because the workers aren't going to care if you're a small child.
Yes,
because they were just whipping that tree trunk around.
And I would also like to point out that Terry and Steven Dorff's character played their own version of Satanic Panic.
Yes, they did. Thank you for noting that. I said that out loud. I was like, and it saved the day, kind of.
And this is the folly of all the Satanic Panic, because if it was that easy to unleash hell on Earth, it would have happened thousands of times a day.
Yeah, but like that's what this movie has become, like the template for like what's happening now. Everything now is trying to be this movie. This movie was.
I mean, this movie was ripping off, like I said, Invaders from Mars, where kids have to save the day, that no one believes them, and there's something going on in the backyard. Which is a remake of a movie from the 50s.
I just mean like the Satanic Panic. Like this was a product of what was happening at the time in the news, of like everyone, like that was Dungeons and Dragons, heavy metal, all that shit was like your kids worship Satan. Now everything is just trying to rehash that. So what I'm saying is like this was the actual what everything's trying to be now.
Well, it was no mazes and monsters.
All right, do you guys want to take a quick break and come back and talk about you know what?
Yep. Let's do it.
Oh God.
We'll be back.
Oh, relax, it's okay. I'm just trying to commune with nature. Isn't it lovely to sight and see? Have fun, don't mind me. I'm just in search of the red-tailed brush thruster.
So you guys want to play a game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I want to play a game.
All right. This is Chop Quiz.
Chop
Quiz.
Oh man, I didn't realize the freaking Crypt Keeper was an executive producer.
John Carpenter just stepped into the room.
I had to workshop that one.
He's got a plastic hatchet in his hand.
The other alt would have been, what was it? Spooklastic aptitude test.
That's a very thin stretch.
Yeah. So
Spooklastic aptitude test it is.
Is that better?
I like it.
All right. So you guys ready to play Spooklastic aptitude test?
Boy, am I ever.
It's just a pop quiz. I'm going to ask you How many do I have here? 7 questions. We've done this before, all pertaining to cheerleader camp. Buzz in with your name when you know the answer. If you know
just
the answer.
cheerleader camp?
Okay.
Just cheerleader camp. If neither of you get it, we'll give you a multiple choice and then you can buzz in again. So, first question. Buzz in with your name. What is the name of the camp?
Oh, Buzz AJ.
Yes.
Camp Hurrah.
That is correct.
Would you wear a Camp Hurrah shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
In public?
I would. Absolutely.
I'm sure someone on Etsy's already made it.
I looked for them. I could not find any.
Oh. I would wear it if it was a belly shirt, and I'd wear it with the cut off blue jeans.
Well, since we are going to the shore for my birthday, I may have some made on the Jersey Shore t-shirt sweatshop on the boardwalk.
Because you're the almost birthday boy.
No.
All right. So 1 point for AJ. Question 2. Buzz in with your name. In the beginning dream sequence, over the PA system, what is being repeated over and over and over?
I just watched this.
Josh, go ahead.
I mean, this is a complete stab, but they're called just loser over and over again.
That is not correct.
Oh, boo.
Buzz in Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Where Are You?
Okay, it is not. So we'll go to multiple choice. A, let's get going. B, well, where are you? C, we're waiting. Or D, you're going to lose.
Yo, Josh.
Yes.
D, no, C, we're waiting.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
Yep.
We're waiting.
I just want love.
And can we talk about the opening sequence? So the whole point of doing this is to just bring up things to talk about. Can we talk about this opening sequence? I was going to get into this with the whole like Freddy in the zeitgeist and all that. What this opening sequence is such a Freddy, like it has no bearing on anything. Like she gets slashes on her arms as if like Freddy Krueger's. Then you hear that like shitty
that
laugh. What is that supposed to do other than to just be like, hey guys, it's Freddy, right?
I think what it was supposed to do was to show you that she's a troubled individual. But yeah, what it comes across as is, oh, they're just doing a Nightmare on Elm Street nightmare sequence.
Yeah, that's anyway. Okay, number 3.
I laugh though.
Question 3. It's 1-1. Buzz in with your name. How old was Leif Garrett? Price is Right rules. First, actually, both answer Price is Right rules on this one. How old
did we talk about this already?
Maybe.
I think we did, but I don't remember what the answer is.
You gotta pay attention on the Spooklastic aptitude test. Do your studies. How old was Leif Garrett when this movie was filmed? Closest without going over, or just closest?
All right, Josh, you can go first.
31.
26.
AJ on the button. 26.
He had it in his notes.
No.
He's a good student. He's the smartest boy in the class.
So if we have to watch this again, would you see Leif Garrett's ass? Keep in mind that's the ass of a 26-year-old man.
Yeah, he looks like he's in his mid-30s.
I know. I was shocked. It's kind of, I don't know. I was shocked that he was only 26, and I was shocked that he was, I don't know. It was,
well, he's look at him now on IMDb, and that picture is probably 10 years old.
Oh, friend, I did. I want to hear his music. Apparently, he has a, I don't want to say successful music career, but
well, he did before this movie. That was his claim to fame.
Did he do any music in this movie? I wonder.
No. Because it was like Sexations or whatever that wrote and played Subway.
Subway Station.
Yeah.
That was
what?
All right. Number 4. Aaron's up 2-1. What is the name of the quote unquote, their words, not mine, suicide girl?
What were the what?
What is the name of the actual character's name that they called Suicide Girl?
Josh.
Josh, go ahead.
Debbie.
Incorrect.
Aaron?
Go ahead.
Pamela?
Here's your multiple choice.
And it sounds a Sussex.
A, Debbie.
Okay,
clearly not right. B, Lucy. C, Judy. D, Susie.
Aaron.
Doesn't. Yep.
C, Judy.
Incorrect. Josh.
D, Susie.
Correct.
Yeah.
2-2.
Would you laugh if I said Pamela again?
Number 5.
Never mind.
Go ahead. No.
I messed up my own joke. I would have had to said Debbie again. Yeah.
I like that 2 of my fake multiple choice ones you guys have said.
Yep. Well, if you know someone for almost 40 years, you end up knowing what they're going to think and act like and write down.
This is for both of you again. No buzz-ins. Other than the Gator, name at least 3 mascots.
Oh, that's easy. Do I have to buzz in?
I guess this is a buzz-in. Go ahead. Whoever, and if someone names more than the other, then...
All right, I'll let Josh go ahead.
Oh, I have no idea. Chicken, a gorilla, and a donkey.
You got one. I won't say which one.
All right. There is a chicken. There is a turkey.
Correct.
Then we'll go with a panther.
Correct.
We said the gator.
So
there's also 3. A frog.
Yes.
And then there is another chicken?
Nope.
Or a pelican?
You got the 3. The one you're missing is there's a mouse.
Oh, that's right.
So I'll give you a point because you got the 3 we're looking for. All right, 2 more to go. Question 6. What is the name of the college that our heroes attend?
Oh, Lord.
I know the initials.
That could be a half point, maybe. No, because we're going to go to multiple choice.
I know.
Which means you'll probably get it. I'm going to switch these up on the fly. You already said you know the initials.
I know the initials are Aaron, are LV, which you would think was Las Vegas, but it's not. It's like Lost Valley or Little Valley.
Okay. Nope.
Oh, well, kiss my ass.
I'm gonna defer to multiple choice.
A, Lindo Valley. B, Lester Valley. C, Lehman Valley. Or D, Leper Valley.
Well, it's not Lehman because
it's not Leper.
Lindo Valley, Lester Valley, Lehman Valley, or Leper Valley?
Oh, Josh, Lester Valley.
Incorrect.
It's B, isn't it?
Well,
that's what you actually just said. Hey,
yes.
Lindo Valley. Point for Aaron. All right.
Damn it.
Aaron's up 4-2.
How did I get a point when I already answered incorrectly? That would be a push.
All right, fine. No point. That's true. You did
fair and square.
3-2. It comes down to this one. We're going to make this worth 2 points. No, wait. Okay. You guys it was going to be, what is the words that the band keeps repeating over and over? Subway station.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're big Sound of Sussex fans here, so.
That's.
Oh, so wait, sorry. There's 2 more. Who wins Camp Queen?
Aaron.
You can describe her. You don't have to know the name, but a name would help. Go ahead.
Teen Wolf Girl.
Yeah.
Correct.
Pamela.
Bonnie?
Bunny.
Bunny.
All right. So
it's Bunny, not Bonnie?
Bunny.
Bunny.
Here comes Bunny. She's real funny.
Wait, I have Bonnie written down as her name.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's Bonnie Reed.
Shit.
As Here played by
Bonnie.
Lori Griffin.
She's real funny.
Last question. This one's worth 3 points to give Bigsy a chance to win. All right. Here you go, Josh. You better get this one or you lose. It's worth 3 points. Just for the sake of competition. What beer does Timmy have in this 6-pack beer hat during the party?
Oh.
You can answer and blow him away here if you want.
Who, AJ?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
What a merciful birthday boy.
I'm a merciful birthday
Go
boy.
ahead. I'm lost.
Timmy, and the penultimate episode or scene of Cheerleader Camp wears a blue beer helmet that holds 6 white cans of Miller Lite.
Absolutely correct. We have a winner of Spooklastic Aptitude Test.
I'm the smartest boy in class.
Birthday boy.
Oh, man.
Okay, thank you for indulging me on that. Let's.
Full disclosure, I watched this at 4 a.m. this morning when I woke up. So
that's how I watched it about. I finished it like 20 minutes before we got on this call. Woo. So it's fresh in my mind, baby.
Oh boy!
And I'm ready to blow it out of my mind.
Can I ask if you will allow me an aside?
That's what this has become.
I have a gimmick, which really isn't going to add a lot to the discussion of the film. I just want your all straight up opinion. In a street fight, who would win between the cast of Cheerleader Camp versus the cast of 1999's But I'm a Cheerleader?
I'm unfamiliar with But I'm a Cheerleader.
You've never seen?
I would rather you pit the cast against the cast of Mad Men.
Oh, well, I was doing it because of the cheerleader thing.
Give us a rundown. All
right. Well, you got Natasha Lyonne.
She's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. She could. Oh no, you don't have anyone with a cigarette voice. And
is there anyone named Bunny?
There's a Kimberly played by Michelle Williams.
Oh,
you got Melanie Linsky as Hillary, Kathy Moriarty, RuPaul, Bud Cort,
Clea Duvall.
Clea Duvall, I think, is in there. Yeah.
Look, Clea Duvall could beat up the whole cast of Cheerleader Camp by herself.
Who's Clea Duvall? I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, she plays the she's the like goth girl in The Faculty.
Yeah.
What? Isn't that
no
Fairuza Balk?
No, it's what you think. You think it's either Fairuza Balk or Nev Campbell, but it's not.
She was in something recently.
Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Okay.
We'll dunk
RuPaul
in there later.
Who else?
Okay, hands down, that cast of But I'm a Cheerleader would destroy the cast of Cheerleader Camp at a no holds barred street fight.
Are we including like Pop and the cook, or is it just the ladies on ladies?
Oh, and don't sell short. Mink Stoll is in this from John Waters fame.
I'm pretty sure if you put any of the fellows in Cheerleader Camp, they'd be able to take Bud Cort pretty easily. But if it's like, Eat the Buckle all ladies match, then Natasha Lyonne's kicking the shit out of all these girls.
Look, you can bet that if Pop and the cook see a cross-dressing black man enter the street fight, they're going to turn around and walk away.
My pee-pee just went back up inside itself.
Or could be very turned on and discover something about himself.
That's true. He might find his PP to be hard as a.
Yeah, he definitely seems like a progressive fella.
I mean, it comes across the screen. And who's Catherine Tao? I'm clicking because I don't know who you are. You're in Mulholland Drive and Evolution. Oh, there's a terrible movie.
I mean, even if we're just going on like what their careers became, it's
no. This is just straight up take those characters
in all facets
and have them with chains and sticks and folding chairs.
I mean, Corey's pretty crazy. She could probably Corey versus Leon would be.
I think that's
a good match. Who's eating the buckle?
That's Clea Duvall. That's Duvall.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking Corey.
All right. So I think we're settled on
the porn stars. I don't think any of them would beat up Melanie Lynskey. And I know I'm probably mispronouncing her name. And next week I'm going to have to do a Sandy Duncan Doe on her. I'm sorry.
I can't wait. Yeah, I think we're in agreement on that one.
But this horror movie.
Can I just want to go through my notes just because what else is there to talk about? So Buck appears to be a supernatural fella.
He just appears out of thin air.
Yeah.
He's just sneaky.
Every time it shows him, he just appears behind your shoulder. And then the one scene where he catches the sheriff checking out the nude gals, the sheriff says something to him, split second looks behind his back and Buck's gone.
Yeah.
And then I believe the next time we see him, he's popping up behind Allison or something to be like, be ready to get your whatever gross shit he says.
Get your titties tickled, whatever.
Oh, where she uses the phone to call the sheriff.
Yeah.
And he just appears there. Yeah.
So is he supernatural?
I think they were setting him up to be the Freddy Krueger.
They're definitely setting him up because where he's comes down to his little workshop. He's like, where the hell that thing go? But I don't know. My next note.
Oh, I'm sorry to go back into the ditch.
Please.
Let me ask this question. Have any of you asked your significant others if a tit off was a thing?
Because of what they do on the rocks.
Yeah. I asked and my wife says that's not a thing. And I was like, but I just witnessed it, so it must happen enough that someone put it in a film.
I would ask your wife, has she ever been to cheerleader camp?
That's true.
Well,
how does she know what happens at cheerleader camp?
I'll tell you how she knows, because full disclosure, we met at a cheerleader camp.
No, you met at a band camp. There's a difference.
There's not much of a difference.
There's no titty off at a band camp.
I could see where the stage was set.
You were not at a cheerleader camp.
It was a majorette.
It was a drum major camp.
And drum major camp. No, there were frontline girls there.
Were there mascots? Was there a Camp Queen competition?
There kind of was, yes.
Did you stay in log cabins? Did you have a river to go sunbathe nude by?
No, not that I know of. But we stayed in college dorms, and everybody, for some reason, decided I was the leader, and I made everyone watch the Teletubbies in the break room.
That's a way different experience than anyone who had a boob off.
And then
breast off.
And then for some reason they dressed me up like a majorette, and there's a couple photographs of those flying around somewhere out there with makeup and
we're far afield.
Did you go back to your room and stuff a sock down your underpants like Leif Garrett?
No, but my roommate, whatever his name was a larger man that reminded me of Travis McKenna. So yeah,
of Timmy.
There's a lot of parallels. And what I'm saying is I didn't see any tit offs.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
I know this for me and Josh, but both these movies, and really any movies of the 80s, why milk? Milk was such a prominent drink at this time. The part where Allison goes, she's like, "Is there a Coke? Any Coke anywhere?" And the chef, who had previously just put a dead body in this freezer himself,
Chef Ronnie,
yeah, is just like, "Yeah, it's in there." And she walks into this walk-in freezer where he again just put the dead body, and finds like a 5 gallon of milk container of milk and just chugs it. And in the gate, they're all sitting around dinner table. They're all chugging milk. Why was milk such a? We weren't a milk family, Josh. We didn't sit around the dinner table chugging milk.
I think early in our childhood we were a milk with dinner family, and I think we phased out of it.
I might have been too young to remember the phasing out.
I do remember having a glass. It's not an uncommon thing.
I just had milk this week.
It does a body good. How else are you going to win a boob off if you don't drink your milk?
Yeah.
I don't think, other than if I'm eating like cookies to dunk them in, I don't think I've ever just poured myself a glass of milk.
Yeah.
That's why we're brittle boned and we're going to be in wheelchairs by the time we're 60.
I don't know.
Think of all that milk you could have drank and kept your hair.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
Chef Ronnie, now that you mentioned him having the milk in the walk-in freezer underneath the body, he besides that body in the walk-in, kept a cleaner ship than the kitchen in Sleepaway Camp.
Oh yeah,
with all those flies.
Yeah, he gets it together after his introduction where he's
Chef Ronnie
spitting loogies on the hot dogs.
Everything is clean as can be.
Such a good introduction to his character.
There was a quote in the movie where Corey and Allison are talking to each other, and it was very it spoke to me in the moment, where Allison says, "Sometimes it's hard to enjoy stuff." And then Corey says, "So you try harder, yeah?" And then Allison says, "You're right. Thanks." And that's all of us in that moment.
Yeah. That's when she's in front of, like, she's brushing her teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, God bless. After the gate, this is Oscar worthy.
We're all feeling that exact sentiment at that moment. Like, it is sometimes hard to enjoy stuff. God damn it. 3 weeks into this bullshit.
You just gotta try harder.
Just try harder, baby.
And then
come up with another game.
Is it? Yeah. There's that line of dialogue with Pamela and Leif Garrett where he's basically trying to get her to make out with her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Well, I want to, but I don't want to, but I want to." That's not verbatim what's said, but it's just like, man, this was first pass and throw it on the screen.
Oh, first pass.
I still think there's a lot more highbrow making fun of the genre in this movie than you guys give it credit for.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Like, again, going back to Chef Ronnie throwing the pots and pans in the back of his station wagon and tearing out of there. The whole thing with the mascots.
Yeah, Pops appearing out of thin air, I think, was actually their way of just making fun of that type of harbinger, whatever character.
Oh God, you guys are kidding. You guys are stepping so much closer to Stockholm Syndrome.
Sheriff Poucher playing for the Pirates.
This is not good.
Going for Miss Tipton's end zone.
No, yeah, that was almost one of my questions. Was what team did what's his fuck play for?
I bet whoever it was, I bet he played against Al Bundy's at Tokai.
He does say who they're playing against.
It's the Pirates against I don't know.
Maybe next week we'll find out. I think I'm at possibly the end of my notes.
I've got nothing new to add this week, Aaron.
I was glad that the internet allowed me to tell through the pixels what was actually on the shears that went through Pamela's head, and it was a maggot.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
And again, positives. What's her face? Betsy. Betsy had that great scream with Miss Tipton.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like everyone did their own stunts, especially
I think they had to.
Timmy.
He dives into
there's 3 times he falls with head injuries possibility. There's twice into that shallow riverbed, and then there's once where he dives off the stage over Buck.
I laughed really hard this time around with the one scene where they're all getting they're getting into a fight during their practice.
Yeah.
And then he just like pops up. He's like, I'm going crazy. It just cuts to him like belly flopping into shallow water.
Yeah.
You like that, did you?
I laughed so hard at that.
I hate you.
It's just so unnecessary.
I think it was last week that I asked the question about, are you guys ready to buy the 4K? And actually not today, but after watching The Gate, I was like, yeah, I would buy a 4K of this movie.
This is going to be, since I don't think I know where we're going with this. I don't think the listeners know where we're going with this. Maybe
I don't think I know where we're going with this.
Maybe we do something different this week where we'll go around, we'll give our summations, but not give our pick. And then we'll count down and I'll give our pick together.
Oh no. Okay.
Well,
and that'll be fun for the microphones.
Yeah, I was going to say, in an audio situation where we just scream all at the same time, I'm sure that's going to be very clear and concise.
It will. We'll know.
What if all of our voices combined is the last step needed to raise the demons from the giant hole in my backyard?
At this point, I hope it is.
Ted Danson pops out of my closet.
I wish an elder god would pop out right now and unmake me and save me from this hell of living and watching these pieces of trash.
Man, we really did it with the picks this second round.
Yeah.
I think we overcompensated for the great movies we had in the first round.
Yeah. Well, I think the first round was, at least on my end, it was like, hey, I want to go back and see if these movies were as good as we thought they were as kids. And I think we've gotten a little bit vicious with the second set of movies.
I'm just trying to provide entertainment to the world.
I'm just trying to do what's right.
Are we still on the first set?
No. We're on the second.
The Gate was the first new one, right?
Yeah.
No.
Because Body Bags was
yes, you're right. You're
the last of the first.
Yes. We're officially in season 2.
All right. Yep. Oh, I guess I should change that on the.
This is round 9, S2E1.
Okay.
What a premiere!
And who's the loser? The person that wins or the person that loses?
The loser is who we watch next week.
The loser is us because we're going to eat the buckle.
Absolutely. So what? Okay. So let's give our quick recap of what we thought about the two movies. Don't say who you think lost.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then we'll all say who lost.
So who lost?
Which movie you liked less?
Is the movie we're going to watch again.
Yes. Which
movie? And that is the movie that we're all going to say at the same time.
Correct. So I'll start and I'll say The Gate. It's a birthday week. The Gate, I thought was charming. I enjoyed it for the most part. There definitely was things to not like about it. It was a little slow. I thought once it got going, it was really cool. I thought the horror came fast and hard. And the ending was terrible. Really put a sour taste in my mouth. Cheerleader Camp for a third time has not raised in my esteem. It is what it is, a piece of shit. And I don't know that either movie was great or even good, but I'll tell you which one loses in a little bit.
So The Gate, we watched as kids. I don't remember a lot about the movie. I remember being scared of certain elements. I was scared of the caretaker in the walls. I was scared of Terry's head coming out of the closet and biting down his friend's hand. There was parts of the movie that scared me as a kid, genuinely. And rewatching this, man, was I disappointed that there was absolutely nothing good about it on a rewatch as an adult. It's a really bad movie, and that's not to say that Cheerleader Camp is a good movie. It's also really bad, but I don't know which one to go with because they're both terrible movies, and it all boils down to I could have fun sitting down with friends and partying a little bit and watching Cheerleader Camp and laughing at how ridiculous it is. I can't have fun with anything about The Gate. It's a terrible movie. I think The Gate is definitely the worst of the two movies.
You weren't supposed to say that yet. Shit. Okay, Head.
Okay. The first movie I'm going to discuss at this juncture is The Gate. The Gate, I don't remember watching over at your all's house growing up. Maybe I was there, maybe I wasn't. All I can say is, as a man in his mid-40s, I hated the shit out of this movie because it was all kinds of terrible tropes stolen from other real horror movies. And I use that term because this, I think, even came up as fantasy, quotation marks. So to me, I just am like, this isn't for me. And again, like, like Monster Squad was a movie we watched as kids, and I still love it to this day. Invaders from Mars, not to keep harping on Tobe Hooper, did this better. That's all I about The Gate. Cheerleader Camp, since I personally experienced cheerleader camp situations, speaks to me a little bit more. But it's got terribleness.
The audacity of you, sir.
But take this up with your wife.
But I have to say, there, to Josh's point about if you were watching this in a group setting, you'd probably enjoy laughing and guffawing all over Cheerleader Camp more than you would The Gate.
Okay, so on 3, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to say our pick for who we're watching next week, the loser.
All right, so you're saying all that?
No, we all say it together.
So you're going to say 3, 2, 1, and then we all talk.
Yes.
And the loser is the one we're going to watch again.
Yes.
Okay.
Which one did you like the least of these two movies?
It's so painful.
The tension.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
The Gate.
Camp. Wow. Oh, so we're watching The Gate next week.
The Gate. Woof.
I mean, in week 3, I thought, oh my God, Cheerleader Camp is really going to go just like 6 weeks, like Mad Men. But no, it can't. It is a better movie than Mad Men.
The Gate.
Cheerleader.
No, it's not.
Josh has a point. It's very tongue-in-cheek and it knows what it is. It's not trying to be serious.
Oh, you guys are giving this way too much credit.
You think they're trying to make a good slasher movie?
Yeah, no.
Cheerleader Camp?
Yeah.
I think it's a mishmash of studio notes being like, make a Frankenstein like there was
no studio behind Cheerleader Camp.
Wait a second. Studio notes. Who is the studio? It's the studio that is Prism Entertainment, who I think also was involved with The Gate. Imagine that. And the company that's known for Gamera movies. So
yeah,
they were going to have a lot of notes.
The studio notes was the actor that played Pop standing off camera and be like, it would be cool right here if they had a boob off right there on the rocks.
How about a Freddy nightmare? All right, so we're watching The Gate next week. I'm
that pisses me off more.
Shocked.
I would rather watch Cheerleader Camp, but for the purpose of this
enjoying it
podcast.
Cheerleader Camp was a better made movie.
Yes.
A better filmed, better
horror movie.
Better acted. Better.
Let me stop you there. To answer your questions, no. Not better filmed.
Then what are we doing here?
Not better. It was a garbage movie.
You're asking us to be objective and a subjective setup podcast.
Hey man, I love you guys and I love your opinions and I'm happy to be a part of this with you.
Listen to your elders.
The softest of core slasher movie is always going to be better than Encyclopedia Brown meets the demons.
Wowie, wow. All right, so let's see what's going up against The Gate.
Oh man.
Oh wait, hang on.
It could get even worse.
I threw my notebook. Okay.
I liked The Gate. I thought, boy, I'm gonna look for this on 4K.
Ugh.
Ask Stephen Dorff, he might send you his copy.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. 4.
Well, looks like The Gate is going up against another little supernatural demonic romp. Demonic Toys.
Wow. Woo! All right, folks. Well, there you heard it. Save room for that. And save room because we're going to eat the buckle.
Later, buckle buddies.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Mom? Dad? Father?
Yeah.
Somebody?